Hi, and welcome back to Disco Elysium, where we can talk to the smoker guy on the balcony here.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from a cigarette. His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. He feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight. We got your hint, found the key right under that stone. He replies, smiling as he looks at you, something sparkles in his eye.
Are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes.
Beautiful.
He says again, nearby street lamp casts shadows on his shin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you, and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad one. Breakthrough imminent. Maybe I need that I want that let's say I want that bonus for the I want that bonus for the next conversation. Let's check that out. 3 minutes. Wait, we took exactly 0 minutes to get here? Can I pass time by talking to you?
Yes.
Now that we've inspected the scene, I want to know more about this pissing competition you mentioned. What's there to say? It's just stupidity. What kind of stupidity? The cop guy and our precinct can decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or in the industrial harbor, yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. So we've let the union make a mockery of law enforcement here, and now it's come to its natural conclusion. I saw this struggle over who runs Martinez. Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. It's an orphan district, in other words. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite a brouhaha at the 47th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you, I'm not their finest or toughest. With 102 cases solved, what I'm is least interested in a pissing competition. So I volunteered to represent the 57th, but not out of competitiveness. On the contrary. I wonder what this says about me, that I was sent by my station. Tell him why it's you. No. 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 I hope that I can turn these lines around. I hope I can turn these lines around. I don't mean them that way. I only saying that my precinct sent me to teach him a lesson in style. Not in style, in case solving. There can only be one conclusion. I'm the finest case solving machine sent to outperform you in every way imaginable. A good joke. He does not ethically think it was a good joke. A joke, of course. Rest assured, I have no intention to compete with you. It's good we set this thing aside. Was there anything else you wanted to ask about the competition? If not, we should move on. What's special about Martinez? Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of our colleagues don't even know how to get here. North of the interchange doesn't exist. So you volunteered to spoil it. Yes, I'm an unrepentant unrepentant spoil sport. The lieutenant appears pleased with this. Okay, enough of the competition then. Tell me something else. Yes, a holy pointness matter. Forgot I ever mentioned it. He's actually glad he addressed it now. Why did the 41st send me? Sorry, cop. Sylvie's suicide jokes and Sylvie mentioned my suicide jokes and Roy mentioned my suicide. Why did they send me? Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to Slide Precinct 57. Yeah, that makes more sense than the other stuff I thought of. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late and argues with his necktie. You weren't sent here to win. Kim, what if my precinct sent me on this case because I'm a fuck-up, like as a joke? I've considered it. So it's true. It would be immensely ugly of them, not to mention unprofessional, but I also think it's somewhat unlikely. Why's that? I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who police is Martinez, reaches back to the 30s, as old as my station, and all the time we can't decide who gets Martinez? I think yes, both stations would prefer a win. Do you really see... So you are their finest. I'm the finest of nothing. Do you really see me as a safe bet? Safe? No, but you're old. You've made it this far. Something has brought you through. We've only just started working together, so I don't know what it is yet, but it is there. So no, I don't think they sent you as a joke, and even if they did, they're in for a surprise. And we have our breakthrough. At the actual art degree. Yay, we got our degree. Tried, contrived, mediocre, milquetoast, amateurish, infantile, cliché and gonorrhea-ridden peer into conformism, I fucked me, affront to humanity, war crime, should literally be tried for war crimes, resolutely shit, lacking in imagination, uninformed reimagining of, limp-wristed, premature, ill-informed attempt at, talentless fuckfest, recidivistic shit peddler, pedantic, listless, savagely boring, just one repulsive laugh after another. Can't shake from anger how shit it all is. It gives me minus at hand-eye coordination and conceptualization. Passives heal me 1 morale and give me 10 XP. So I have to trigger 20 conceptualization passives to get to be even on this. Okay. Time to put on... Not that one. That one. Oh, that one is... That's... Yeah, let's put on that one. The lounge jacket is also cool, but I like the shivers of the other one. Okay.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
Oh! His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant street and motorways flashing like diamonds. Feels like a Friday, he seems to be in good mood tonight. Oh, I did directly trigger one. We got your hint, found the key right under that stone.
Tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes.
Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you, and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
By the way, I'm really digging the view here, point to the city skyline. That's why I chose this place. Man, Martinez is special, isn't it? Wait, suddenly you're digging this? The lieutenant whispers to you, shaking his head. Is it Friday tonight? It feels like Friday. It does feel like the end of the week. It's so magical, the white falling against the bag. Why would I want to meet your friend? Trust me, you do. Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me. He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush. Besides, I've got to run. He's going to leave you alone again, that's sad. Run where? To the city. It's a beautiful night. Only if you promise that we'll talk again, it's important. Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words. We'll talk, just not tonight. Take care, alright? He says with another disarming smile. before slipping off into the night. I got my task complete, a level up, and I can now interview the Sunday friend. And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him. He's always leaving. Why is he always leaving, Kim? Who knows, detective? It's a mystery. There's something so different about him that I can't put my finger on. Different, of course. His shirt. Why is his shirt always unbuttoned? His shirt. Lieutenant squints his eyes, trying to hold back laughter. His shirt. His shirt. No, I don't know why his shirt is always unbuttoned. Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember? Go and meet him right now. He won't be there later. Okay. A fifth point. Now that this triggers something, we should definitely put a point in that. Okay, my only one chance. A quarterly business magazine. An empty ashtray. Did we look at that through the wall? Dishes soaked up in a pot. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at local university. Okay. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. An old photo of the same apartment dated year 01. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. Buckets of paint on a layer of old newspapers. And we get a party dragon silk robe. Okay, so we're all the time we were hinting at him being gay. That's okay. Yeah, no problem with that. Okay. The sleazy, silky bathing robe in vibrant blues featuring a roaring dragon on its front ready to take off into the night. A red belt has been provided for fastening. It's culturally insensitive, but only for people who are not from Seoul. The real Seoulites probably don't care. Become the dragon and become an addict in a strange bathing robe. What does it replace? No. I'm taking my police jacket instead. Wow. Okay. And we got something under the bed. Sumerian conical head. Plus logic minus suggestion. The tawny cone-shaped head looked like a beacon of Sumerian wisdom, its straws sticking up like antenna. Thank God you can't really see people's reactions when they see you strolling around in this incredibly insensitive headpiece. Insensitive bachelor party vibes, but super logical for a cop to wear this. This goes into encyclopedia, no minus, so I'm still taking Dick Mullen's head over that. So we have a double thing, so they like to dress up when they meet.
Officers of the Reversal Citizens Militia.
The man in business casual removes his cufflinks.
My name is Charles Villedron. I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stability on assignment from Sir Leclerc.
So you gave that thing to Mr. Everett? If you're with the coalition government.
I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I'm here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot. Before we get to that, tell me where you got this beautiful silk robe from.
We got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive, but the material is great. Sadly, the shop is now out of business. That's really all I can tell you about it.
Lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed. Can you tell me about your friend? Ah, my friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him, but he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters. What's Kedra? Kedra is a candidate member of APIS, but between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue. What do you mean? That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since. What's APIS? APIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wide success, nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see. Good God, yes, sweet standardization, the backbone of rationality and commerce. It was such a wide success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel, another success, and between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success, emboldened to take APIS to the next level. Sounds a bit like the EU. Okay, but like, what does it stand for? Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole. Know what the letters stand for? It's been such a wide, extraordinary success thus far, we are very excited to take it to the next level. You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you? A supranational political alliance, the United States of Occident. Is it going to be like this place here? You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy. Is Revachol going to be part of APIS? It's one day going to be a candidate member of APIS, sure. Except that candidate members never become full members, do they? Didn't you say that candidate members never become real members? No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time and evaluation. But we are talking about my friend here, not politics. How did you two become friends? How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isla? Oil platforms ablaze in the night, civil wars lasting for years, finally the international community is forced to step in. What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way. Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how they came here, my friend too. You still haven't told me who he is. Sorry, who? Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him. But I told you, officer, he's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education, the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It's a cornerstone of our civilization. Yeah, but what's its name? Officers, you have to understand, I can give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation. So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of fine arts, yes. As though you weren't envious enough of the boy as is. Which arts? He's truly free-spirited, he likes all arts, perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows, the world is open wide for a talented youth like him. What are you doing in this apartment by yourself? I'm enjoying the view. What view? It's dark outside. Listen. A baby is crying in the neighboring department, waves crashing in the distance, the sort of sea below the windows. I can hear the waves. The Insulindian Bay. What about it? The place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or kitchen, but the million real view stays. You can't take that away. He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkened glass. Was asking about your friend. My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee. A busy bee? What an odd choice of words. I had something else in mind. What's an official like you doing in Martinez? The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. But what are you doing here in this apartment? Oh, well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage caused by the international community caused when we arrived here. So you're some kind of bureaucrat. Yes, as I said before, I'm a commissioner from Sur-la-Clef working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Intern. What is international community? La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution. And what do I call the coalition? Your employer. Technically speaking, the governing authority of Revachol, the Elysium is but one part of the provisional administration. What is price stability? It's the most important thing. That doesn't tell me anything. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability. Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change. Precisement. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. It's like they do in real life. They try to keep inflation low, but they don't want inflation to be zero because it carries the risk of going into deflation, and deflation really destroys economies. That's what they're fearing. Otherwise, 0% would be perfect. If it wouldn't bear the risk of deflation. But deflation is really bad for a country. Below 2% of what? But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad below, but close to 2%. You're not answering my questions at all. The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of this price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet? Yes, of course. A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Price stability is the raison d'etre of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. You're saying nothing. I hate moralists. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Make information available as part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency. I've heard about the moral intern before, but I want to know more. It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as it's the coalition. So what I'm hearing is that we're moral intern bitches. Doing one's job does not automatically make anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious power to work for than the moral intern. Are you a moralist? But of course. But why? Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values. Lieutenant, are you a moralist? I'm a lieutenant of the RCM dedicated to maintaining law and order in Revachol. Yes. The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors. But what's a normal, stable world? The Occident is part of the normal world, Oranje, sur la clef, Martinez, not. Martinez is something else. What about the rest of Revachol? Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking. I don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism sounds incredibly boring. I want more action. Do you think peace is boring? What about prosperity? Peace sounds pretty cool. Exactly, I don't find it boring, I find it fulfilling. Peace is what allows me to have my morning coffee, my afternoon golf, my sundown friends. The smiley gives you straight off a campaign poster, the kind of smile focus group tested to appeal to the most gullible swath of the electorate. Now enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? Sur la clef. What's there to say? Sur la clef is a modern urbanized country that measures very high in the Human Development and Freedom Index, mostly though it's known as the executive heart of Apis. Moreover, it's a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes. Darlings, that can't be an official designation. What makes Revachol sur la clef's darling? Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from sur la clef, its language, its people, its cuisine even, or at least in the downtown La Delta area. Jamrock and other parts of International Zone have been mercifully spared of sur la clef's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes. Tell me about Oranje. Oranje is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of Apis, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to sur la clef, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community. Which one of them is more Apis? As founding member, they are both very Apis. Oranje carries a lot of political weight, while Solarclef takes care of the business side of things. Solarclef hosts the headquarters of the major Apis institution. But outside of Apis, what is Oranje? Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community. But that didn't tell you anything about Oranje. Can't you just talk like a normal person about Oranje? It's very urban, very well organized, their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they are an example for less emerged nations to follow. Enough business, let's talk about something else. Have you actually witnessed the lynching? I'm sorry to say I did, officer. This is just a break we've been looking for. Easy, detective, no need to jump to conclusions. He eyes the spectacled man near the window who smiles and spreads his hand. Start from the beginning if you don't mind. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like a play. What do you mean, like in a play? It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body, and then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead one by one. That's when I understood I should not be seeing this. It sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective. He nods to you. Who are they? Can you describe them? I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them, but they were very loud and very Martinez. Let's just say the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities. How many of them were there? I couldn't tell you exactly, less than 10, maybe 8. The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number. Were any of them huge, like 200 kilograms? That's a giant you're describing, though they were all quite human so far as I can tell. Did any of them look like drummers? Why no, then I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like. I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad. What happened next? I went back inside. Were you able to see anything from inside? Officer, the yard was pitch black, there was nothing to see, but I could still hear the voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man. Were they men or women? All men, I presume, but again I couldn't see very clearly. But we're fairly certain the lady driver was present. Are you sure at least one of them wasn't a woman? It's possible, officer, but I cannot say with certainty. It was very dark, you must remember. What ethnicity were they? I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them, and I'm quite certain that one spoke with a mask accent. What happened next? Well, that's the strange part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching. What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched the guy. Eventually their shouts died down and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything. Why didn't you call the RCM? You're right, of course, that is what one's supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add. About what time was all this happening, approximately? All I can say is that it was late. You didn't check your watch. My watch. Yes, I now remember it was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take. So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging yourself, did you? No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for. I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Village Ruin. Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM. We've got all we needed. A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again. Hold on, why can't we talk later? It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I shall be leaving as well. That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around an underprivileged young man's apartment in the middle of the night. I'm not going anywhere, I just want to take a look around in this apartment. Sure, go ahead, it's a beautiful space. Let me know if you have any further questions. We're done interviewing the Sunday friend. Okay.
Was there anything else?
Okay, let's leave the apartment. Okay. We're done with that guy. So we have to return tomorrow at 21 o'clock to get the smoker again. Okay, I wanted to go down to the fridge to turn it back on, hopefully. So we can store the body there instead of giving it away. Maybe I destroyed it by unplugging it. It felt like a good decision at that time, but it's not that good. Maybe. A giant electric mammoth stirs to life. Okay, it's working again. Okay. We want to try it again. Machine is unplugged and better grip with gloves. Okay, that's not enough to unplug to do that. We need a better tool. I assume we get a quest for that filament that's supposed to be inside there. This one mentioned by... I'm mostly talking about when I want to put them in a fridge. I'm mostly talking about that one mention of one of my mind tricks that told me that told me to that there will be a possibility to take the boots. Description of injuries summary. Let's see, we have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too. What's the 4th field for? Nothing, just in case. Bite marks. Head, chest and scalp bite marks injuries. Predations by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. Your opinion? Non-fatal post-mortem. Next injury. Contusions. So the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. A perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem at maximum velocity. Fucko. He has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity. The lieutenant's admission has caused great gratitude in Kuno. He is silent with it. Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest where the countless stones have hit the dead man's head. Beneath the description of injury, 2 boxes, non-fatal post-mortem. Ligature mark. Dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin above and below the ligature mark, depth of the mark 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck. Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side, awaiting your judgment. The ring around his neck is visible. Non-fatal post-mortem. The lieutenant falls silent abruptly. He is deep in thought, eyes fixed on the bright red ring around the dead man's neck. Why did you say that? Because I'm right. I'm serious. I don't think this was the injury that killed him. Why don't you think that? Why weren't his hands tied? A big man like this, I would tie his hands when marching him to the gallows. And I can't shake the feeling he was doing something else when he died, which we discovered by looking into his underpants. Both of them. This is more... spells it more out what I'm thinking. This doesn't spell it out, so it might be trying to... game might be trying to go for something else that I don't mean. But I mean something, or would mean something if I say that. Okay, why weren't his hands tied? A big man like this, I would tie his hands when marching him to the gallows. Honestly, I'm not sure there weren't marks on the wrist. That part got blurry for me in the stench. But you're right, I was ready to call this, but I think we should leave it empty, at least for the time being. He produces a small black plastic roll from this jacket body bag. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this autopsy over. First, how did it go? It was an irregular autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy, but personally I do not see this as a parameter for success. We also requested toxicological screening that was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks after the game. If we are lucky, I would not hold my breath. What else? We were thorough with a list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say given the circumstance? It was a professional field autopsy. What now? I need a copy of that autopsy form, then we'll drive him to Faubourg. I rip out a copy. For processing, he looks to the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in the sand, then at the corpse again. He's thinking, did I miss something? I sure we didn't get everything. There's always something. Hoo. Search the body one more time thoroughly with 8 perception. I have 9. I need a 5. Your arm reaches out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh through the latex stuff. It's right on the palm of your hand. What is this? His face, his cheeks, his nose, his swollen lips, like a rubber spider. Your gloved hand corals on his features. Everything is silent all around. Put your fingers in his mouth. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A bowl-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track. Play with it. This feels right. The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucosa of his mouth is slippery, fragile even through the latex. From the soft meat, teeth are baring. Hard pearls of bone in the gums. And the back of the mouth, can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in. Open your eyes and look. A vision of black and dark red death. Pry it open by your hands and started with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat, and there in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in his soft palate, you see a hole barely visible to the human eye. It's swollen shut, almost vanished, no longer than 0.4 centimeters in radius. The edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after. Abrasion collar. Abrasion collar. Kim looks in. There's a pen in his hand. His notebook is open at the copy paper. Touch it with your finger gently. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Put your finger in. Your index fits right in there. A right tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage right enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem. The fuck is happening? Oh shit, see. What's a brainstem? Yes, that's what this part is called. Feel around first. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again, never wake. Push deeper. Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There's no resistance, it's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. The ululations of the limbic systems have ended. All is quiet. There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen and paper. Fucking cavity? Kuhn's voice is hushed, quivering with awe. Push deeper. Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching towards the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. Wriggle in. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly, cold jelly. Strange fluids stream down your wrist as you push deeper, until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Ice cold, serrated metal. It's a bullet. It edges cut right under the latex into your finger. Right through. No, it's sharp. I feel a solid object right under the skull. Can you get to it? Inspect the skull. There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your fingers must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stopped just short of the skull and the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium. We have the makings of a very small exit wound here. Leans closer. Forget about the fucking exit wound showing the pig swearing him like a fuck puppet. Her voice absolutely sizzling with excitement. And we have We have to make 9 with interfacing. Don't let down, Kuna S. A precise spot of exit wound found. Fish it out. You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just slowly pull your fingers out. The inside of the head feels cold and smooth like a glove as you pull out, sweat dripping down your brow, careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead. Fucking beautiful. A bullet. The lieutenant pulls a small bag marked evidence on it. Drop it in. The bullet falls into the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says, unknown caliber, rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy fractured in impact. Keep it, Lieutenant, as a gift. No, you've deserved it. We can log it later. The lieutenant drops the bag in your hand. It feels light. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4, oval entry wound with an abrasion collar, soft palate, back of mouth, high velocity, temperature cavity in brain tissue, small exit wound on the occiput. He underlines the injury forcefully. How does that sound? Sounds about right. Opinion, fatal injury. Goddamn right. Click goes to pan, and one last thing, we should amend injury number 3, ligament mark, new option, non-fatal post-mortem treatment. He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death and they hang in an attempt to conceal this fact. Treatment? Officer has an attempt to manipulate the body after death, to hide the real cause with a false cause, in this case, this injury here. The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, that was all treatment. Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard, all of it was done after the man was already dead. Agreed. I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him? I thought there was no satisfying explanation. Secret task complete, find the bullet before you get fooled. There have been other signs too, small things. We were right not to assign hanging as a cause of death. As the perpetrators expected, we would know such luck for them. We didn't fall for it, he thinks. There's pride in there. There's of course a very real possibility he was both shot and hanged. Maybe the bullet holds more answers. Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I'm certain it has more to tell us. The little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it. Who would do this? That's for us to find out, but it will make finding them just a little easier. Why would anyone do this? To hide something, the real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here. I think I need to wash myself. Wash off the death smell. Oh, you really do. I'm glad you say that. Your room in the whirling wrecks should come with a bathroom. Make sure to make use of it in the evening. Maybe they just shot him while they hanged him. To put him out of misery, it's possible, it does not explain the other dubious things there. Lack of struggle, primarily. I may be intellectually sloppy, but I prefer one theory at a time, and this just smacks of treatment to me. What happens next? We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day. You will be gone? What should I do in the meanwhile? Work on the case, tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you, and one more thing. Great work, detective. After you bag the corpse, Kim will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly. Oh shit. If I want the boots, I have to do it now. Try to remove them again. I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this time to kind of... Okay, so you can sneak out of the room maybe, or after he's gone to sleep. So either I send him home now, I send him away now, which will not make him go away for the next day. So I miss out on the... I have to think about that. Do I want to miss out on the fractured bullet? We can still inspect that. Wash off the death smell and send the body away. Okay, we'll be sending the body away tomorrow evening, which gives me one less day to work with class here. Ah, that's not a good idea. Okay, we're done for here for today. We see us tomorrow in the next episode. Have a nice day.